All right, I'd like to go through the creation of a part drawing using the drawing template that I've created for the class. So I have a part here on the desktop. I'm going to come to make a drawing from the part. That's the option I want to select. It opens up a new drawing, and we have these different options for the standard sheet sizes. Don't have the only show standard format selected, because if you do, this new format won't show up. So you go down to the bottom, check the UML Design Lab 2, A being the A size for the drawing, and it's in the landscape view. We select OK. We're now given the option to drag in some views. I'm going to drag in the front view. And once you have this initial view coming in, this little pop-up goes away. Now notice we're already in projection mode, so I'm going to throw in a top view, a right view, and an isometric view. And then I'll say done. Obviously the views are a little bit large, so what I want to do is come over here. I can either select right click here and go to properties, or I can right click in the main window and also go to properties. When I do that, it brings up the sheet properties. The scale is set 1 to 1. 1 to 1.5 works well. That means one drawing unit is equal to 1.5 part units. I'll select OK. So it brings the part sizes down a little bit. And what I want to do is notice that I can move this isometric view independently. But of course, if I try to move these, they're going to be locked to the view that they're projected from. The isometric view is not required to do that. So let's stick with this isometric view for a second. I can do a couple things with it. Well, let me hold off on that for a second. If I come to this view, the main drawing view, this is going to be the parent view, and if I select on it, the display state or the display style is selected here. I'm going to go to hidden lines, and notice it changes all the other ones. If I go back to the main view over here and was to select this one, and I was going to go to hidden lines, it would only change it for that view. Alright, so what I want to do is go back to the parent scale, or the primary view. I'm going to select that display style, and we'll say that we're done. Now I want to go to the isometric view. I'm going to select it. I'm going to make it shaded with edges, and I'm also going to change the scale. So not using the parent scale or the sheet scale, I'll use a custom scale of 1 to 2. So that shrinks it down a little, and we'll just move it up over here in the corner, and we'll be done with that one. All right, so before I do anything with dimensions, let's come over here to the drawing block. You can see that it's here, and the way you access it is you just double click in it. The boxes that are editable that I've created show up in blue, and to start you can just select in one. Let's make a fake student name, Joe Be Cool. I'll use the tab to tab through the rest of them. So today is not 12/13, it's 02/13/14. Tab, our course number is 22.202. You could add your lab section number if you needed to. Now I have 3 views for the title. And notice I'm tabbing through them, and I can go all the way back through them all over again. 3 views for the title, or 3 blocks for the title, just to give you 3 lines if you were so inclined to put more additional information. But for right now, I'll just call it Lecture for Assignment Part Drawing. So I'll tab through. I'm going to get to the drawing number. What I'm going to suggest is that you use your initials, then the last 4 digits of your student ID number, and then -001 for the first drawing. Now 002 and so on as you create more drawings. And since it's the first creation of this drawing, we'll make a revision A. Sometimes you'll leave the revision number off altogether until you make an initial revision, but we'll put A in here for right now. The material, if you go back to the original part, it's called out as being copper. And I need to make a quick revision to what I said in lecture the other day. The finish here just refers to the finish that you might do to the finished part. You may want to paint it or put a particular type of rust coating onto it. This does not have to do with the machining finish typically. So I'm just going to write NA here for non-applicable. And again, we're done. So I'm just going to hit the green check mark. And notice these two boxes won't show up when you print it out. I also have a location here for Instructor Commons. That's going to allow your instructor or your TAs to add in additional comments, such as what a grade would be, or whether it's okay to be machined, or it's okay for 3D printing, things along those lines. All right, so now I'm going to quickly throw some dimensions in here just to go over it one more time. So I'm going to select this part, or select this drawing view rather. I'm going to go to Annotations. I'm going to go to Model Items. So I already have a selected feature, which is Drawing View 1. The Import Items into All Views is selected off because I just want to import dimensions into this drawing view. And I want to select the feature, which in this particular case is the original extrusion for this part. So once I do that, all the parts are created. Now see the symbols on the mouse here? The left mouse button on a dimension to drag it, or right mouse button to hide it. I don't want to do either of those right now. I'm going to select OK. And then what you can do is you can use the ability to make a grab around the parts, or I could do the entire thing at this point. We're in annotation, so I selected all the dimensions that are annotating this part. I'm going to right click, going to go to Align, and I'll use Auto Arrange. And it does a decent job in terms of setting the parts out. You may want to change the locations of them a little bit, but obviously we need to move the drawing because we're writing over the title block right now. So I'm going to come up a little higher, and maybe I do want to come in here and just drag them to slightly different locations to increase the stagger, make the dimensions slightly easier to read, and I can do the same thing over here, just slightly. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to this view. Again, I'm going to select the view. I'm going to go to Model Items, and I'm going to select the feature. In this case, it was a cut. It gives me my couple views. I'll say that I'm done, and once again, I'm going to select them all, right-click, and I'll auto-arrange them. So that looks pretty good for me. Again, if I just decide that I don't like them squashed in here, I could always move these two dimensions off to the side, get them lined up nicely. And that pretty much defines all the parts except for these fillets. I'll come back to that in a second. But this other view here, we wouldn't necessarily need it for the machinist, but either for you or your own to remember things, or just to quickly calculate things, or to have it known for any particular option. Sometimes you might want to call out specific dimensions that are not utilized by the machinist, but something that you want to think about. So let's say I'm going to use Smart Dimension now. Say I want to know the dimension of this part here. It's 2.92. Now what I want to do is I want to make it a reference dimension, so I'll select this option to add parentheses to the particular dimension. Now I'm still in the dimension mode, so I'll put another dimension here for this groove. Again, I'm going to select dimensions, parentheses, and how about this last one? Say I want to know make it readily visible as to what is the actual dimension of that channel, and once again I'll put parentheses here. Alright, so that pretty much defines all the dimensions that I would like to do, except for these fillets. So without me showing you, there's a fillet here, 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 and here, and I know that they're all the same. Let me just use the Smart Dimension to show you what the radius of the fillet is. In this case, it's radius 0.1. So instead of doing that, I am going to utilize a note to say that all fillets are radius 0.1. So what I'm going to do, in the drawing template that I've given you, there's already a location here for machining notes. I just want to show you how I'm putting that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Sketch. I'm going to right-click here in the drawing I'm still in an annotation mode here. So let me go to Sketch mode. Oh, turn off Smart Dimension. So I'm going to right-click, Edit Sheet Format. So my drawing goes away because now I'm just editing the sheet. And what I want to do is extend this line out. So instead of doing a trim entities, I can extend. I'll extend that line out. And then I'm going to go back to annotations, make a note. Notice it has leaders if I want to. It's sort of smart. I'm just going to drop the note here, and I'm just going to write this, I'll call this as machining notes. And I can say done and done. Now I might want to change the font. In this case I think I do. So I'll select it. I'll make it size 10. And I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll just come up here and say that I'm done editing the sheet format. And now once I have a location for my machining notes, I'll come in here and I'll create a new note. And I'll say all fillets radius 0.10. And again, you're going to find these artifacts every once in a while. This doesn't really exist. If I come back here, double click on it to edit it, you see the other one goes away. And again, I'll make this 10 point. All right, and that pretty much takes care of everything that I would want to put on the drawing. Notice down here there is this empty location that's there on purpose because since most of you are using a student version of the software, this is where SolidWorks is going to print that you're created this drawing using a student version of SolidWorks. And that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in this video. So if you have any questions, you can shoot me some emails. Alrighty.